So like many of you who have probably already seen this by now, I was also very, very shocked when LeBron James was actually pretty much asked in an interview, would he potentially rejoin the Cleveland Cavaliers in the future? And basically, he actually went on to pretty much say that that door has not potentially been fully closed. LeBron kind of hinting that a Cavaliers return is really not out of the ordinary and something like that could potentially happen. Not just that, a whole day before this, LeBron actually confirmed himself that, potentially, a reunion with the Cleveland Cavaliers could be possible. There was also a rumor by a person named Jason Lloyd that actually reported that LeBron James is open to returning the Cleveland Cavaliers if this season completely doesn't work out with the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, that's a really, really weird report because he's actually still contracted, I believe, for 1 more year, and I don't think it's a player option. I think he has 2 more years, 1 year's a player option, which I'm pretty sure he's going to decline. I just can't see him going back to the Lakers. I mean, he's done everything he can in LA. He won them a championship. He made a very interesting movie, we can call it that. And he pretty much did everything that he set his goal, to do in LA. But now, when it comes to the Cleveland Cavaliers and LeBron James, LeBron, again, in the interview, basically said that, well, he doesn't know what's going to happen. The door isn't completely closed, and it's too soon to kind of, do anything or say anything. Now, I actually really, really think that LeBron James every week is kind of hinting at a Cavaliers return. For example, he also said another thing when talking about Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen. He actually said they've got 2 All-Stars of their own in Darius Garland and Jarrett Allen. And they have now got another guy in an All-Star, and that's me. Cleveland, or LeBron James on the Cleveland Cavaliers. And that's really funny because I think half of him, what he's talking about is obviously his team, saying that they've got, 2 All-Stars, and now they've got, of course, himself being the leader of that All-Star team. But the other thing he's kind of doing, which you kind of look at it like this, is because he was specifically talking about the Cleveland All-Stars, it seemed like he kind of wrapped himself in the group of Jarrett Allen and Darius Garland, and it sounds like he was talking about them more as though not him playing with them in the All-Star team, but more as so of him already being on the same team as them. And that, I don't know, it's just the vibe I get. It is the vibe nearly every single person and their dad has kind of gotten in this comment section of this post on ESPN. And I actually think it is a really, really interesting thing, in my opinion. And I'm just honestly like, well, what are the chances? What are the chances of LeBron James actually coming to the Cleveland Cavaliers? Another thing LeBron also said before I get into that, though, is that he does believe that no matter what happens when Bronny James enters the league, he will, of course, go and play with him eventually. It's just going to happen. He basically said no matter what team he goes to, he'll basically be at. And I believe LeBron James Jr.'s draft class is actually 2024. And he does become a free agent, I believe, very early 2023. Which makes me think, well, what is he going to do here? And the reason I say this is because when we look at, LeBron James, he could accept that 1-year deal and continue playing with LA. But the way the Lakers have been going right now, they are almost destined to failure. Because basically, even if they decided to go, trade Westbrook and bring in another star next season, trade a first-round pick and a bunch of other stuff to maybe bring in some really solid player, and then put a really nice supporting cast around them, similar to what they had a couple of years ago with like Danny Green, JaVale McGee, etc. Even if they did that, you still got the fact that LeBron James is like 38 years old. Anthony Davis has an injury every second of the day. And not just that, the players that Rob Pelinka, the GM of the Lakers, have brought in have all been pretty crap in the last couple years, making me think that we're all going to get hyped up for this Lakers team again next season, just for them to bring in an old-ass Danny Green or something back. Just something like that is going to happen, most likely. So, with your LeBron James, you say, well, do you ride it out for another year, or do you actually put the foot on the pedal right now in the off-season and say, well, hold on a second. It's not going to work out. Anthony Davis is injured all the time. I still have a year guaranteed on my contract plus a player option. Plus, Bronny is going to be entering the league in 2 years. Why would I stay this extra year with the Lakers, then decline my player option and join a random team only for a year just to then go and see, join whatever team Bronny goes to? Here's my actual thinking behind this, and I think what LeBron should potentially do. If in the offseason he thinks it's not working out with the Lakers and that it's just not going to happen and it's time to move on, you've done everything you can in LA, realistically, what he could actually do is request a trade and go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I don't think he would be that much anymore, because I feel like LeBron would sit down Rob Pelinka and be like, well, look, come on, man. I've done everything I can for you. I don't want to rob the team that I want to go to too much. Also, I'm like 30 billion years of age. Surely we can get this deal done for a couple of first-round picks and some solid role plays. Like, the Cavaliers could legitimately give them, like, Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, and 2 first-round picks. And obviously, LeBron James is a way better player than that. But honestly, if you're LeBron, you don't want to strip the team you're going to of too much assets, or it just becomes a pretty big issue there. But if you're LeBron James, you do that in the offseason and say, alright, I'm going to request a trade back to Cleveland. I'll accept my player option, so I've got 2 years guaranteed back in Cleveland. And maybe even extend for 1 more year, giving him 3 guaranteed years in Cleveland before he eventually goes and joins Bronny or something like that in his second year. Or does he maybe join the team for 2 years and then leave in Bronny's first year? Or just stay on the Lakers maybe all the way until Bronny gets, again, drafted into the league? Is that what you do if you're LeBron James? How do you work this out? Because again, I'm really interested, because the way I see it is the Lakers are absolutely terrible this season. I don't see them going anywhere near a championship. Not just that, AD is out for a whole month now, 4 weeks. The Lakers are 27-31 in 9th spot. Russell Westbrook continues to suck. Their team is 50 years of an average age. And not just that, the Portland Trail Blazers, who I absolutely love what they've done with their rebuild, trading all their guys, have all of a sudden become pretty solid, and Anthony Simons is playing like an all-star. Plus, I believe Dame's coming back from injury, and Nurkic is starting to play some really good basketball. Who's to say that, again, the Trailblazers come out of nowhere, get in front of the Lakers, and then the Lakers still have to worry about the Pelicans, who just added CJ, to their team, who's a really solid player, and are still getting Brandon Ingram back from injury, and the Spurs are legitimately just keep going on. There's not even a guarantee the Lakers make the play-in this season. Now, I do think they will. I think LeBron James will carry the Lakers with Dwight Howard as his second best player to the play-in tournament. But I really don't know if they'll even be able to get to the playoffs, because it's LeBron James and he's legitimately nearly the GOAT. You can almost say they possibly will. But, shoot, with Dwight Howard as your second best player and Malik Monk just there, it's a big issue. And I'm really interested to see what he's going to do, and especially if he maybe goes back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my sports channel, my IRL/vlogging channel, and my gaming channel if you haven't already, which I'll all be linking them in the description down below. And of course, don't forget to comment your thoughts and opinions. Do you guys think that LeBron James will potentially go back to the Cleveland Cavaliers soon? Do you guys think he'll stay on LA? And what team do you think Bronny will get drafted to, and will he go there? This and that. Definitely let me know down below. But as I was saying, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.